Hello, friends, and welcome back to another Needlessly Nostalgic. I'm one of your hosts, Tyler Nichols, with my other host, Mr. Lance Velchek. This is our second movie of our summer soiree. And for those that are not aware, we just kind of picked some like ocean, beachy, summer-themed films, and so we had to pick some stuff that were very important to us. But this was kind of like a virtual, or a mutual, I should say, agreeance of the stuff that we chose. Because you and I happen to have a lot of carryover with this kind of genre and the stuff that we like, wouldn't you say?
100%. In fact, I want to say that we wanted to do some summary and that it was off the typical genre that we normally do. And you and me were like, well, it has to be Weekend at Bernie's. And then it came up, well, we both love Captain Ron. That fits. I mean, that's like the best double feature you could ever get in terms of summer vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we both love Waterworld. So it's like, okay, water, hotness, I mean, that's a little more of an offshoot, but I feel like I think we did it.
I would say that's a little more genre and a little more in line with what we usually do than Weekend at Bernie's and Captain Ron. So that'll be a good transition into what we are doing after, which I mean, I guess we can mention, we can mention it now. We're getting into the Halloween franchise after our summer soiree, which the Halloween franchise is a monster. It is very big. So that's why it will be starting at the end of July, early August, and then extending all the way through Halloween of 2025. So got a long time with it, and you're going to have more difficulty with that one than that series than I will, because I know you're not as big of a fan and hate some of the entries, but
yes, I'm a little more hot and cold, but I mean, it's still fun. It's still, and especially, during the October season, I'm having a blast.
Oh yeah.
It's just crazy that there's that many of them.
It's insane. Yeah. There's so many, like when you look at them, because then it's just like, there's phases too. Because it's like, you got like the first few, and then it gets into more of the schlocky, and then it's like the H2O resurrection, which I still consider it a modern era, despite them being 20 to 30 years old at this point. And it's like, you got your Rob Zombies, then you got your David Gordon Greens. Yeah, it really goes all over the place. Because really, I mean, because we just finished the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and like there's weird offshoots, but outside of the remake, it does really feel like a somewhat cohesive series.
The fact that series is essentially a timeline pick your own adventure series, our franchise, I should say, I'm happy, because I do think that gives us little breaks where it's like, okay, we're going to be doing the classics, the Thorn, the modern era, the zombies, the Gordon Green. So it's almost like a reset. Whereas, it's almost a marathon when we're doing the Nightmare on Elm Street, because that's essentially, outside of 2 being the outlier, a continuous story with things building and sort of adding on. So it's like there's a lot more to keep in your mind, to keep contact of. Whereas the Halloween, I kind of like that. Okay, the base ends at 6, perfect.
Yep.
And then 7 starts, and then 8, and then we got this one. I don't know. I think it's a good way to reset and have sharper opinions. Or maybe I'm just getting old and I can't handle the length.
No, I agree. I think that that's a good point. The start and stop of it should work well. Then I've never been more curious for a ranking episode, so I'm already looking forward to that, because you're gonna struggle.
Yeah, it's fine. It keeps me young, my friend. It keeps me young.
Well, we are not quite getting into the Halloween series yet, because we are today getting into Weekend at Bernie's. This released in 1989, directed by Ted Kotcheff, written by Robert Klane, and starring Andrew McCarthy, Jonathan Silverman, Catherine Mary Stewart, Don Kaffa, and of course, Mr. Terry Kaiser. Oh God, I love this movie. I love it. This is like right when the film starts off, and it's that like island music. Oh, you can feel it in your bones. This was a movie that I grew up with on VHS, And so I watched it every summer multiple times. And I was the type of kid that movie would end, I would just hit rewind and then start it over. I was obsessed with this film. What about you?
I have the same exact thing. My buddy's parents owned it. He lives across the street from me, and we hung out a lot as little kids. And I would watch this all the time. I think eventually we owned it. But yeah, it starts off that nice summer heat, sunlight and hot's playing, and they just lean into this just being the dog days of summer. I am all about it. This movie sets up the vibe before we even get to the story. Them just walking to work. It's like, it's just constantly showing the need to cool off, how hot it is, that it's like smuggy and miserable, but you know, I like that. Muggy to me is a feeling of summer, and summer is the feeling of freedom. I relate to that. I associate those two to this day. And when it's humid and the sun's out, I'm naturally a happier person because I'm like, oh, this is the feeling of freedom. So I love it, man. I love it. It's a product of its time, though, for sure. Especially like just everything about him walking into work, cigarette out of his mouth. Everybody's dressing. I don't know if you noticed, but like there's men in suits with shorts and high black socks because of the heat, I guess. And I've never seen that in my life. I'm like, oh man, I didn't grow up in New York, but like this just gives you that that summer in the city vibe. I love it. I love it.
I never noticed until, I probably had seen it in the past and noticed, but this time it really stood out to me. Larry carrying the TV in the beginning, which then made me think. So it's like, do you think Larry brings the TV because he lives in such a shitty part of town that he leaves nothing valuable in his apartment because since he just knows it'll be broken into? Or is he bringing it because it's the weekend, so they need to take their rooftop venture and have a little, that sense of like they need some kind of weekend, even though they're working.
I take it because it's Sunday. Only reason I say it is because when they go to work the next day on Monday, he doesn't have it. He just has a cigarette and his fucking
good point,
charming smile. I'm assuming it's like some sort of sports game. I'm not a sports guy. I have no idea. But the fact that but even that, like, that's awesome character development that Larry needs to bring the TV, even though they have a lot of work and a lot of data work too. It's not like, keeping the office safe or cleaning. It's like, when do they have time to watch TV or even listen to it? Their job seems to be very focus based. They try to find missing money and all these numbers. But the fact that he's still, that's just something he does. I love. And like, it's so, listen, it's very important to say that as a kid, I thought Larry was the coolest. And I've gotten older, I don't think any less of that. Like everything he does, his dressing, that's not my style, but loose clothes, his attitude, he's like smoking and making fucking rude comments. I don't know, bringing TV on a Sunday to hang out. He's my guy. I know he's meant to be the fun one, but I'm saying that like, some movies you get older, I'm like, I could relate to Richard a little more, where this, I'm like, nah, dude. Larry's my guy.
Oh, get your ass out of here. It's too hot.
Yeah, I can obviously relate to Richard, and like I want to be a Larry, but I am Richard. That's like the sad part about it. But I feel like just from this film alone, because there is the sequel, but just this film alone, I view Andrew McCarthy and Jonathan Silverman as like a duo on the same level as like an Abbott and Costello, a Martin and Riggs, like that, all because of this movie and their dynamic and me growing up with it. I would have the same, like if there were some like an Entertainment Weekly cover where they're like the 36-year reunion of Weekend, I would freak out about that more than probably I should, just because I love this pairing. They feel like best friends in a way that is hard to get across, because there's that annoyance factor with friends that's hard to do, where it's like someone might be able to interpret of like, Richard doesn't even like Larry, where it's like, what? No, Richard loves Larry. They just have that best friend dynamic. Yeah. I've always enjoyed how they are.
You're right. And let's give some credit to Jonathan Silverman, because playing the straight guy against somebody like McCarthy's Larry should be the kind of movie where like you tolerate Richard, but you don't really like him. Whereas, and I'll even admit, as I've gotten older, there are times I find him kind of annoying, but there is an earnestness about him that like makes him relatable. Mm-hmm. Like I'm neurotic, and he's making he's making reasonable sense in this entire movie. You know, we're going to go to jail. This is fucking crazy. We got to cover it. Like, he's not just being like, I don't want to go out and have fun because it's late. He's like, no, I don't want to go to jail. And I was like, okay. And like I said, all the things he says, it's like, it's kind of reasonable. I mean, in real life, he's the guy that you want to be around, to have your back.
Yeah.
He's the guy's going to keep you out of prison. McCarthy, though, is just so damn fun. But I want to bring up, though, because you're talking about how like they give each other shit and like their friendship isn't as just like besties. I wrote down, so when he's talking about on the roof, which my whole life I thought they were on top of a rooftop, and now I could see because I have it on the back of the TV. I think I caught this years ago, but like it's good because it's obviously it's a set, and then behind the set there's some other buildings or little like rooftops. And then behind that, I believe it to be, I think not a blue screen or green screen, but like I think it's like a sheet or whatever, like some sort of thing.
I disagree,
dude. Come on, look further back. That's like
I'm looking at it. I
don't think it's rooftop. Yeah, I'm right here, right there. He's reading to him.
Yeah, I think it's a rooftop for sure. Look at the angle, like the shadows. 100%. That's a rooftop. I will bet $100.
I don't have $100. I'll bet you $5. I'll bet you $5.
$5.
Well, all right. Well, the reason I want to bring it up is because when he's asking him to look at the whatchamacallit, the notes, he's like, "Do you see it?" He's like, "Do you see it?" He goes, "No." He basically goes, "Do you see it?" He goes, "No." And he goes,
"You're such a stupid piece of rat shit."
He says it so casually and so charmingly. He's like, he walks up and then him and his friend are like hanging out. But it's such a that's kind of thing. It's like, you dumb bastard. You dumb bastard. Like that's the kind of thing you'd absolutely say to like your friend. It's like, you don't see it. You don't see that. Come on. Yeah. I wrote that down as like, you're such a stupid piece of rat shit. It's like 5 minutes in the movie. I'm like, that's
because
I think movie.
That's because I can get that way with friends sometimes, where it's just like sometimes you have to like cut through the noise. It's like you just gotta you're trying to like make a point, and then that the person you're talking to isn't gonna get so offended at it, where it's like, you stupid bastard. This is what is being said. So I don't know. I relate to how he goes about with that.
And obviously he's better at this job. I mean, Larry's one of those guys that's clearly just getting by, where Richard is the one that's like, because, it's like, Richard's like, "No, do you see it? Because we do this all the time." And Larry doesn't. And I relate to that. It's like, oh yeah, I get it. I'm a neurotic guy. It's like, no, we do this job every day. How do you not fucking see it? Line 15. It's like, I don't see it. It's like, fucking Larry. But yeah. That's the joke. That's the straight man and the fun party friend that happen to both work at an important office in New York with Catherine Mary Stewart, who I swear to God, maybe it's just because of the haircut, I never thought of her as like, because this is an internship, so she must be like early 20s or 19. And it's like, she looks 35. And I don't mean it as an insult, it's just like the style from the 80s. My whole life, I was like, oh, she's in her 30s.
She always has looked so much older, which, yeah, clearly she's not, but just she seems like she is. Like, she's always seemed that way.
She
like,
carries herself more mature.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it is the hair. I really do. I think the hair really, really hits it. Which also, I want to say too, like, Larry and Richard's job was like a nightmare of mine growing up. That always seemed like my worst nightmare. Just because it just seemed like a constant grind where they couldn't even afford the basic necessities, which, like, don't get me wrong, that's life. Like, I get that. Like, we deal with a level of that ourselves. It's like, this was such a like meat grinder going into the office every day and making no progress type of life that just depressed the shit out of me. Like, I pretty much made a goal. I think Weekend at Bernie's was something where I was like, I never do office work, which then like The Office came out and like tried to like glorify it, where I was like, no, fuck that. Never, not in a million years would I want that.
You see, I never thought about the job as a kid just because they get to the Hamptons so quickly, and that's like my dream. But as I've gotten older, it's like, oh man, this is gone though. Because it's like two young guys have a steady job. I mean, I don't know how much it pays, but even if it doesn't pay well, they probably have benefits. It just seems like a more stable existence than what we have now in life. You know, it's like, this is gone. We would never have this anyway. So it's like this much has changed that this era. Because I think, and when I look up comments about this movie, they're called like yuppies. And I'm like, there's nothing yuppie-ish. I mean, maybe I don't understand like the word, but I thought yuppie is like rich, white, sort of, in sort of the finance district where it's like, these are just two schleps. Richard dresses nice, but I think he just wants to like move up the ladder. But I think
Richard wants to be a yuppie.
Yeah, it's it's a good night. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Good point.
I just sent you a screenshot of the, and for those that want to see themselves, that is it. And if you're watching the video version of this, which is on our Patreon and we might put up on YouTube, it's 4:15 into the film. This was the shot that I'm referring to.
I think that's a screen, man. I think that's like a backdrop.
Yeah, I'd put a lot of money on that not being. They don't have that technology these days, especially for this level of movie. It's easier just go on a rooftop.
I think. Well, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know. It's just it looks too perfect in the back for me.
Too bad $5 isn't enough money.
I don't have any money. I'm a gig worker. Even betting $5, it's like it's a tank of gas. I really should just be betting you like on the honor system, like a handshake. You know.
I've never understood why Richard is not just honest with her about living with his parents. I know it's a movie, like conflict needs to happen, but this has bothered me since childhood. I have a big issue with conflict for the sake of like conflict due to miscommunication or lack of communication, where all it takes is a character to be like, no, this is what's happening. And then the conflict is over. To me, that's bad writing. Like, and so that'll bother, because that happens in comedies a lot. Comedies always do that. That's why comedies aren't really my favorite genre, especially in terms of writing. But that element has always bugged me. Always. Again, it's just as a kid. This isn't something I'm a mark against the movie. I'm saying, like, for me personally, I always get really annoyed. And if anything, it taught me the lesson of like, lying about shit like this is so stupid. What's the point of that? Like, so then I don't lie about stupid shit like that.
I mean, you're right, but I think that's just a staple of older comedies. I don't know. I'm more forgiving because it's just what it is. If I'm going to have to defend it, which I mean, you're right. It's lame because it's like, dude, just be fine. But they do present him as an erotic virgin who's embarrassed. And, you know, movies and TV shows did always say before that it's like you need a car and a place to get a girl. So this might just be aping off of like tropes from a bygone era. You know, I feel like it's the nerds thing all over.
You think Richard's a virgin?
I thought I think he is. I think there's like some sort of line that they mention it.
Oh, I guess I never picked up on that. I always just viewed him as kind of awkward, but I could see that. I mean,
same reason why it's like, and he doesn't, he's too shy to ask her out. And she's clearly getting the signals. Like a lot of it, you know, it's like, as I gotten older, I'm like, oh, Richard, come on, buddy.
Yeah, she's a couple times so like, into you.
Yes, it's like, dude, I get it if she's like super cold, but she's basically like winking at you. I'm like, but we've been there. I mean, God, I could go back to many times my youth where it's like, so it's like, I kind of relate to Richard. I'm like, I get it. It's just the older me now wants to go back and help Richard. I want to get back in the time machine and be like, no, you got it, buddy. You got it. So he gets the girl in the end. So it's not like he loses.
Does he though? Isn't she not in the sequel?
Yeah, but I mean, in the end, this movie ends with like them together.
The sequel does not exist. I had a double feature of watching this. I shut the sequel off halfway through because I kept getting so mad. That movie is awful, and it does not exist in my eyes.
I understand. I have a weird soft spot for it, though I can't defend it because it is a bad movie.
And it doesn't match the same tone as the first one. That was my biggest issue. The tone is like insane.
No, but here's the only thing I'm going to say. I feel that the chemistry between McCarthy and Silverman is still there. Yeah. It's still these buddies. I mean, it's supernatural. It's a really stupid, weird movie. I'll always have a soft spot for it, but how about this? No, Weekend at Bernie's is the perfect one movie. 100%. 100%. This ends on the beach in front of his house. That's where the story ends. We don't need voodoo and stuff like that. But, I'm not going to pretend that I don't want a little more Terry Kaiser and Silverman McCarthy.
Oh, and I guess we should acknowledge that the director, Ted Kosgeff, passed away just 3 months ago. So he made it pretty far. And he was also First Blood director.
Yeah. Because the gardener is the bad guy in, I think, is it First Blood Part 2? I think. I believe so.
I don't know.
The gardener is one of the bad guys in either First Blood or Part 2, but I feel like it's Part 2 when Stone goes back to Nam. But yeah, isn't that cool that the guy that did this, meditation on the Vietnam vet and PTSD also did Weekend at Bernie's? Dude.
I only just now learned that he's not just now, but when I watched it last night, that he's Richard's dad, the shirtless man. I had no idea. That's amazing. It's a great moment.
As a guy that I don't think acts a lot, I don't think he's an actor. That guy pulls it off.
100%.
He seems like a dad.
Not one moment during that was I like, oh, that's a crew member. Like that's not an actor. Like, no, he fucking nails it. Does a great job with it. I like too. This whole setup. It's like we don't even get to the island until 30 minutes. It's like we have the whole. They have to meet up with Bernie. And then Bernie has to do his whole pitch to the mob to kill the two. Like there's a lot that goes on in this before, because in my brain they're at the island almost immediately.
Because as a kid, that's the best part. But it never drags. You're true, though, because there's all you're they really are doing their best to set up all these little pieces that will eventually pay off. Gwen, that whole thing, obviously, if she wouldn't be at Bernie's Island or be at the Hamptons, it wouldn't do anything. Even the mob stuff. I feel like maybe 10 years ago or something, I rewatched this and forgot all about the mob part. Because even that, it's his mob, the wife is touching Bernie's dick with her feet. He's me, my apartment.
How's she? Boiny.
New York.
It's so good. She's great in it.
Boiny.
She nails that role. I'm not aware of that actress, but holy shit.
I wrote down that the mob boss, because I never caught this, he says creme brulee instead of creme brulee. I have no idea why. Just want to bring that up.
What, no dessert? They do a wonderful creme brulee here.
What the fuck? Who says that?
It's sounding like you and I might need to read Andrew McCarthy's book, because
I would love to. Brett, right?
Yeah. Apparently he talks about the film in it, and he revealed that he directed one scene in it. And do you want to know what scene that was? The scene where Todd Kosgeff cameos as Silverman's father and ruins the date with Catherine Mary Stewart. McCarthy directed that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
McCarthy also, didn't they ad-lib a lot?
Yes.
It's this kind of movie where they just kind of messed around. Okay, cool. That's the scene. I like that.
Yeah, ad-lib.
They do that a lot now. But the thing is this doesn't have that same feel, and I like this. This feels more traditional. Or now, and not that I dislike it, but I think if we've talked about this, that the Anchorman phenomenon, it was fantastic. I worked at the movie theater when it came out. I will always love that movie. But we have not really got away from that, where it's anytime I'm watching a lot of comedies now, I'm I could tell that they said action, did 10 different takes, and this is the one. It has that sort of loose ad-lib feel, where this, unless I heard that, I had no idea. Everything seems scripted and paced and practiced, and it seems polished. So I do like the idea that there could be ad-lib parts in this that still feel settled, as opposed to the, like I said, from 2004 up.
Yeah.
Where it's it just seems like I could tell they made that lineup right there, the way they even say it.
It's because it doesn't reach the Judd Apatow style. This still feels like a reined in style of improv.
It's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it. So I guess I'm saying that I'm over the Judd Apatow style. I'd like them to go back to more of this stuff at this point.
I think most people have been over. I think the Judd Apatow improv thing has been dead for a bit. in terms of like just movies getting made with them doing crazy amounts of takes and then finding it in the edit. I don't think that happens nearly as much as it did during that heyday. But I want to bring up something that you're going to be fascinated by, because we brought up on this podcast several times. Some people might not be aware of it because one of it happened during our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles commentary track, which is available to our Patreons exclusively. North Carolina is a very important place for us without us really realizing it. And you know where they filmed this? Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yes. Yeah, I found that out a couple of years back, maybe not too long ago. I found that out, and it kind of made me sad. I don't know why. Maybe because I hate North Carolina. I mean, I shouldn't say North Carolina. I hate that fucking airport with all my heart. But this just has the vibe. I knew it wasn't the Hamptons. I knew they'd never filmed there. I actually thought they went and filmed in the Caribbean or something. I don't know. I just like, oh, it's cheap. They probably did that. You know, like playing the old Jaws 4 card. I'm like, nope, it's North Carolina. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I love it though, because it means we have
everything's there. Yes.
Yeah, we've had so many movies from our childhood that like shaped us that then we find out, and specifically Wilmington, North Carolina is the area that we've had quite a few. Where it's just like that's insane, like absolutely insane. Which also I'm looking at it, and it's like a movie or a TV show that I just did interviews for that's all big on Netflix right now. The Waterfront, filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina. I know what you did last summer. Wilmington, North Carolina. Yeah. The Conjuring, Black Phone, Blue Velvet, The Crow, Scream 5. Like I'm going through Trick or Treat, fucking the 86 movie. I know I kind of threw that in there just to fuck with you, but Evil Dead 2. Oh dear God. There's Weekend at Bernie's at 38. Maximum Overdrive, Halloween Kills.
So maybe we should visit Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah, Wilmington, North Carolina. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, The Exorcist 3. Okay, I'll stop now because there's just so many. But that's insane. That's a lot. That's like a lot of films that are pretty damn important to the both of us.
I just didn't think Wilmington, North Carolina especially had it in it. So there's an
M in there. Wilmington.
Did I say Wilmington? I didn't say that. I mumbled too fast.
Yeah, I might. It sounded like Willington to me, but
I mumble.
I have shitty headphones on too.
North Carolina. Well, I just didn't think North Carolina had it in it. You know, had it in. I should say. I don't know. Just seems kind of like a lame place, but I guess it's a crazy place that has gorgeous landscapes. Because if it's, I know you did last summer and Weekend at Bernie's. Those are movies I would say like have cool locations. Okay, shit.
Yeah, those cliffside gorgeousness, which also. So they get to, I love the whole ferry element. I'm going over and
they jump on it coming in. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, we're late. It's like, yeah, it's like, we're early, son of a bitch. But there's this line that really stood out to me when they get to Bernie's place and Larry's like,
I mean, a place like this must go for what? $1.6 million, $1.7 million?
What? Excuse me? $1.5 million unfurnished for that place?
Yeah, but what is this? 89 filmed in 88? Who knows, man? Who knows?
Oh no, I'm not saying unrealistic. I'm saying the crazy how much that would cost nowadays. I don't know, 40 million probably.
I don't know. It's hard to say because it's not real. My whole life I thought this is a real house. So this is the house of my dreams, just so we're aware. Maybe now I've got older, the decorations are a little tacky, but just the structure and the layout, I fucking love it. I love the windows, the little, I don't know what they're called, but I'm saying those like thick, everything about this house.
Yeah.
And then years ago, I found out that it was just built for the movie and then destroyed, and my heart sank. There's a house not too far from me. I call my Weekend at Bernie's house.
Yeah,
every time I drive past it, I stop and it's like, oh, that's my Weekend at Bernie's house. Like tri-level, just, has that modern look, which I love.
Was that the place you talked to the owners?
I talked to the guy across the street. He was like a football teacher for like a bunch of rich kids. And he was like, yeah, they're doctors that live over there. He's a fucking cool guy. He's like a commissioner out here. But yeah, man, it's my house. Cause this is the house. This is my dream house. It's ugly. It's cool. It's on the beach. There's a pool, but that's not real. And it's not like a set inside as in like, oh, they just built it in a warehouse. Like, I believe they built this on the beach in North Carolina.
Yep. Yeah.
That's shit they would never do now, you know?
Because you have to, because there's so much, I mean, can't build that. Can't build that in a warehouse. There's all these open windows.
Yeah, but now they just put some fucking green screen and, you know, they're like, oh, there's the ocean.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the floating parties? How much I want that in my life. That people just fucking float around getting shit-faced all together at different houses. It's like a pub crawl, or fucking pub, where am I from? It's a bar crawl, only with mansions and rich people. It
looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. Especially, okay, let's get into the like, well, actually, before he dies, we need to talk about Terry Kaiser.
How would you two like to come to my house at the beach?
Terry Kaiser is the standout. I mean, as much as we love like Larry and Richard, this is about Bernie. Bernie's the star of the show because this is tough. Because even that first half hour to try and establish him, I mean, he's got to be likable, but still a smarmy douchebag. But the fact that he manages he pulls off the likable is insane. Like that's tough.
He has random lines because again, he's only in it for like 20 minutes, 15. I mean, the whole beginning is 30.
Yeah, live.
So live, he might be 12 minutes. Like let's just say every talking line, 12 minutes. And I made notes of things that I found like charming and funny. Where Ed McCarthy, Larry, it was like burn E. Or when he's smoking in his office and Larry lights up cigarettes, no smoking.
Somebody tried to smoke it past the wrong guy.
No smoking.
It's like shit like that where it's like it's douche behavior, but he's so earnest about it. I think that's why. Exactly. He's like cool. When he walks to the island, when he first gets there, he's like rushing to get to the house to set up Larry and Richard, right? And everybody wants to talk to him. He's like a celebrity. People are like, Bernie. There's a guy that comes trying to, he's like, Bernie, I got some champagne. I wrote it down because it's probably my favorite line in the movie. And it said, because Bernie, I got some champagne just open. He's like, maybe later. And then we do this wide shot, right? We do a wide shot. It's at 28:46 if anybody's watching the movie. And the guy goes, booze and women, that's my lifestyle and I love it. And Bernie, as he's walking around, he's going to his cool little golf cart that looks like a fucking race car or like a cool whatever. It's this little wide shot, and Bernie's doing some bumps off his hand. I never caught it before. So it's like he's a party guy, and I think that's why you can't really hate him. He's a douchebag, but he is living the life. People love him. People want to be around him. Everybody's drinking. He's doing bumps onto his cool golf cart. I mean, I guess let's be honest. This movie is making a comment on that sort of Wall Street lifestyle. I mean, everybody here is selfish. Everybody, like the whole joke is he's done the whole movie, nobody notices because everybody's so vapid and in their own minds. Yeah. It's a movie of excess. But because Bernie is kind of like has things that everybody wants, I think it makes him more relatable. Like I want cars, I want beautiful houses, I want gorgeous women. Like, he's not evil. I mean, he wants to kill him, but they like you said, there's a suaveness I think really saves him from me being like, I don't give a shit that he's dead, and that whatever. It's like, it makes it a more enjoyable time. It's like, fuck, he got what he deserved, and now we're gonna enjoy his spoils.
I mean, he gets to his house and there's like a contractor that just wants to be paid, and fucking and Bernie is just like didn't like his work, so he's kicking him in the ass like to get him out of there. He's going a bum. We're just like, Jesus Christ, like,
drink all my booze, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah, where it's just like Bernie's in the right there, yet he's doing the wrong. Like he's going about it the wrong way. You cannot be like assaulting a man just because of this shit. It's like settle it.
1989, you can, yeah.
Yeah. Well, as a rich man, shit, you're going to end up paying more. Like, come on. But I guess Bernie has these mob ties, so.
Yeah, but Bernie's doing fine. Look at that house.
Yeah, Bernie's doing more than fine. Holy hell.
Okay, Larry says we're house guests, walks in, and then starts opening up, I think he opens up champagne.
Like expensive champagne, too.
It's like, like Larry is, if we really step back, I mean, he's an asshole. Because, you know, like if Bernie was legit, not trying to kill them and just being a good host, Larry's being a dick, but he's so charming about it that you're like, yeah, you know, it's like, we're going to wait out here a weekend, we're house guests. Just fucking walks right in. I'm like, oh.
He's like, yeah, we've joined the club. We're in the club now, which then.
He thinks he's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, and Bernie immediately puts him in this place with the smoking and like, it's like, no, you're not allowed to in here. It's like, I can. It's like rules for me, not for the, like.
No smoking.
So fucking good. Which then, so what do you think? Is it heroin that he's injected with? Is it cocaine he's injected with? What is he injected with?
No, I think it's, what, it kills him? Oh, I don't know.
Because it can't be poison because then that would be in the system. And I've always viewed it as like an OD, especially like he perks up, he smiles.
It has to be heroin then, because I feel like, or a speedball maybe. Maybe it's heroin and coke. But I always thought the powder was heroin. Just the way they act about it, because they don't. But
that's the issue. The whole issue comes up when the girl comes and is like, "Do you have something for me?"
Yeah, she's looking.
Because if that's heroin, she's dead. She's pulling a Mia from Pulp Fiction. Because guess what? She clearly thinks it's cocaine. She's going for a party drug. So it's like if it is heroin, which it's so white, I feel like that's cocaine in the baggie. But it's like which there's a liquid form of cocaine. So it's like, is that what he's injecting him with?
Well, he was doing coke, like I said, during the scene when he first gets to the island. He's like doing bumps to wide shot, but you can't really tell. But I'd assume if you want to kill somebody right away, you'd inject them with heroin because that's a quicker OD. So I don't know. Actually, that's a good point. I don't know. I always thought it was heroin as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
But then again, he should have cocaine on him because he was doing cocaine earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which I don't like. And the girl really throws me for a loop because her body language, she's using it for a party. That's not heroin. You're not like, you know what I mean? You're not doing a party drug. And especially that girl, she was like a valley girl. It's like, she's going to him for cocaine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But also maybe the mob was just like, OD's an OD. We'll inject him with heroin. He has cocaine on him. Maybe toxicology wasn't quite as good in the 80s. Who knows? Yeah,
that's a good point. It's like, because I'm assuming he's dead. They find the powder. That's it. They don't, maybe back then that's just like, we died of an overdose. Good enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Which never, this is the kind of thing. It's like, I'll never be able to get answers either. Because this is how old is this movie at this point? Fucking 36 years old. I don't think we're going to get our big retrospective documentary on Weekend at Bernie's because we're some of the only people that would watch it.
It has got a little more of a cult status, but you're right though. I think people don't love it as much as you and me. Like this is such an important movie to me. It makes me happy. It's so fun. And to bring it back to Kaiser, he does so much with just that look on his face. This I can't even do it. I can't even do it to show you, but you know what I'm saying? Yep. It's that straight man look. And again, the physical comedy aspect is fantastic in this. And I do think a lot of it has to do with just how he just does it. But his face, the physicality of Terry Kaiser's being just his mom and dad having sex, having this fucking guy and being born and growing up in the 80s and the 50s and 60s, whatever fucking age he was born or era he's born in. But I'm just saying, like, the look on his face, you can't remake this because he has the perfect look. It's just something in there, man. I was looking because a lot of times it looks like he's doing his own stunts. And I think I read that there was a stunt guy. Though I would argue a lot of the times, because I'm looking straight at the face, and there's no digital face placement back then. And I know I'm asking a wig. So I think a lot of it is him. And it's like dude. The
major portion is him in the water. That's the stunt guy a lot.
Because the guy broke his ribs. But isn't that funny? That's a time where I'm like, they're not using a fucking dummy?
Dummy? Yeah. It looks like that should be a dummy. Like, why? But also, I'm sure they tried a dummy and it probably didn't look right. Yeah. Look like a dummy. Which, Terry Kaiser's physical comedy in this is Buster Keaton levels. It is Charlie Chaplin levels. Yes. But the fact that he's dead, he can't do reactions, yet he's able to pull it off, which also a lot of that I have to give credit to the director as well. He obviously marries it very well. It's so difficult. Everything about this is so tough to pull off, and yet they fucking nail it, and they nail it in a way that hits the tone correctly. Because these guys are walking around with a dead body. Mm-hmm. They are committing acts against nature, like against humanity, with just carrying this body around. So like, there's a lot of ways that this could have not worked and could have been very strange. And because I'm trying to prep an article for Joe Blow right now about like reboots that we actually could like need. And I thought about Weekend at Bernie's for a minute. Cause I'm like, yeah, I would love someone else with the concept of just like two guys, like the doing the dead guy thing again. It's like, you're not going to be able to pull it off because this is such a lightning in a bottle situation where it's the tone of like, this was released in the 80s, but it has a 90s tone to it.
If you asked me most of my life, I thought this was 92.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It has that feeling to it. And like, it would be just way too difficult to be able to pull off because there's such a slim margin for error in this. And Jonathan Silverman, Andrew McCarthy, Terry Kaiser, those are like, it's like a tripod. Getting rid of any one of those elements, I think the entire thing collapses.
And it was at the end, I'm assuming at least it was tailing off sort of the air of excess. So like there's a lot of this movie that only works because it's a comedic take on the fact that everybody is vapid, everybody is selfish, everybody is money and power hungry and party, and everybody's partying. Like the reason nobody notices is nobody gives a shit because everybody's selfish. Yeah. Everybody's rich, everybody's powerful, everybody's on drugs and drinking. It's like, make it now. It's like, there's everybody younger than us would be like, I don't relate to that. Everything about this doesn't make sense to me. Like, you know, you can't watch this, or I shouldn't say can't watch this. You can't make it now because Bernie would have to be so evil that he would die and be like, well, fucking burn him. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck
like
this guy. Everything
about this just is time and place. You even said yourself, like, and I agree, the sequel's not a good movie, but it was like, even them having the same core three didn't really translate again. So it's like, no, this can't be made. I would hate it. It doesn't work. I famously, Chicago's own Roger Ebert, like, it was so mean, hated everything about it. It's like, it's a one joke movie and the one joke they tell is bad, where it's like, and I get where people come from, where it's like, you know, if you're not on board with you finding it kind of funny that they're fucking basically dragging them around so they can have a fun weekend, you have to be fully invested in that concept or this movie is going to annoy you. Now, the thing about me is that all this movie does is make me love the tropics, even though it's the Hamptons, but it's like, it's the tropics as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. It's beachy, it's hot. Chicks are in bikinis. Everybody's walking around, you know, it's like, it's a wandering party. It's like, even as a kid, I'm like, oh, this is the life, man. You know?
Oh my God. That drunk guy is like, don't worry, I'll help myself.
They think he dies. They think there's another one.
Oh my God. Barney. And I also love this old guy that is going after Richard. And then, because he's trying to hit on Richard, and then he's like, you want a drink? And Larry's like, yeah, I'll take some champagne. And so the guy has to get Larry champagne, and you can see him like in the background. He's like trying to come up, and he's like trying to get his opportunity with Richard. And then he like sees they're talking with other people, so you can like see this disappointment on his face as he like turns around, and it's like,
but he brings Larry the champagne.
Yeah, he brings him the champagne. He's pissed off about it and immediately tries to find go to Richard. But yeah, he brings it. So
it's the guy with the scarf, right? The artist guy.
Yeah. There is a moment where Larry goes from like kind of free spirited to an absolute psychopath. And that's when he slings his arm around Bernie. And because it's like, to that point, I get it. They're just like, they haven't really pushed one way or another. Everyone has just like, this floating party has come in and like no one's noticing. They're guys, the workout guys, they're like giving him a massage. Ooh, this is the loosest you've ever been. Like cracking his neck. Girl taking the what we think is cocaine. all these elements are happening and they're just kind of witnessing it all. And they're like, is no one going to do anything? But the moment Larry goes up where he's just like, puts his arm around him, it's like, that's a dead body, Larry. That is a dead body. You have officially crossed the threshold.
I mean, then the next morning he's playing Monopoly, he has his hand tied.
But that's what I mean. It's like, this is the turning point where Larry just becomes, they commit to the bit completely where they're just like, okay, well, we're going through with this, which obviously Richard is the straight man. How are you going to get Richard to go along with this? We're going to bring the girl. Gwen. Yeah. Good old Gwen. Where it's like, yes, because that's how you get the straight man to agree to this kind of thing. Otherwise, because Richard's going to be the voice of reason. So they logic their way through that in a way where you're true to the characters, but you're also able to move the plot forward in a way that's not
because we established
betraying anything
for 30 minutes, or not a whole 30 minutes, but in the first 30 minutes that he's had a crush on this girl. She's an intern. She's leaving. He has a good date, but fumbles it by being embarrassed that he lives with his parents. So he sees this as his second chance because Larry even goes, yeah, you're right. You're right, Richard. Let's call the cops. And makes Richard be the one to stop him. So it's like, that's clever in itself. It's like, whoa. It's not that you just kind of like nudged your friend into agreeing with you. You were like, no, you make the decision. I'll call the cop. No, should I call right now? He goes, no, put it down. I mean, not exactly, but that's essentially what does it. So it's like, okay, now Richard, you're in with me. And then we get the movie, and then Larry's fucking takes his Rolex and it gets more.
Oh my God. Him taking, when did you get a Rolex? Like, he didn't need it.
When did you get a Rolex? Oh, this.
Again, if it's not Andrew McCarthy, though, you could hate. Could hate Larry. This 100%. Is all predicated on how charming the actor is
and how much directed. And we don't know how many of these lines are just Andrew McCarthy. Like maybe this stuff isn't even in the script. Maybe he is what makes Larry which I think so, because it sounds like he improv'd a ton on this. So it's like, if it's just written, if we're just taking it from the script, then who the fuck knows how much it actually works and what doesn't.
This was the first thing I ever saw Andrew McCarthy in. I saw, oh my gosh, what's the
Pretty in Pink?
John Hughes movies he was in? The point is that like, I've seen things after, later in life I saw him. There's the one with the doll that comes to life, not the doll, the mannequin. Yeah, like so it's like he's done more serious stuff and other stuff, but it's like I think of Andrew McCarthy as this character. I always will. Yeah. It's like I feel bad, but it's like when you see an actor for the first time in something and you love it, that tends to be your base. And it's like, well, what better base to have than this fun, charming, like laughable guy. And then you watch the documentary, the Brat Pack, and he's like depressed and fucking hates his life because he feels like he never went anywhere. But I'm like, Tom, I want to give the guy a hug. I'm like, no, you're Larry from Weekend at Bernie's. Like, hold that fucking high, man.
Yeah, kind of shows of like, you never know. Because obviously a lot of these actors, they're just never going to be comfortable not having reached the zenith. It's like, there's so many times where it's like, but man, dude, you were in Weekend at Bernie's. You were in so many classics. Like that's more than a lot of actors.
I think the issue, I've meditated in this before, where being an actor, it's like you show up, action, your first perspective. So it's like I've even heard actors say this, like when they think of like movies, they think of their time on set. It was a fun time. I made some friends and stuff like that. They don't really carry the legacy with it because it's like, oh, yeah, you were in it and then you moved on, good time or bad, where it's like, but I watched it 40 times. I watched it 2 times every weekend. It's like Tremors. Yeah. Like Kevin Bacon hated it for years because he did it, had fun, then regretted it and left. Where it's like, oh, that was on TBS fucking 100 times in my life. Where it's like, oh, because the movie itself is what it means so much to me. But yeah, you got paid to do a job and you might have liked it, you might not, but that's, for the most part, you're not tied to legacy because a lot of actors, and I understand, aren't watching their own movies. It's like, I get it. You watch yourself in a movie and be like, oh, fuck, I would have done that different. I would have done this different. I didn't pull that off. Yeah. So, it's as much as I want him to love this as much as I do, and I think he respects it. Obviously, I think there's a big reunion. I think you were telling me about on YouTube at some sort of convention, but it's like, yeah, that's now. But I bet for the entire 90s and 2000s, he was like, yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. It was fun.
Yeah, that is one thing. I need to start watching those. I used to watch those panels way back in the day of like from Comic Cons where it's like, oh, this 35th anniversary, 30th. I think at a certain point I fell off just because there wasn't ever like new information. Be like, it's like I don't need to see Bruce Campbell talk about Evil Dead again. It's like we've got most. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same information. Yeah, he's talked about it for almost 50 years at this point. So like, yeah, it's gonna be something that I've already heard. But something like Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know many behind the scenes stories. It's just like I was riveted by Scott Adkins had a interview with Ernie Reyes Jr. and they talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Surf Ninjas. And I was like,
nice.
Dude, they're giving some great behind the scenes stuff that I'd never heard. And it's like, I was fascinated. It's like, that's the kind of stuff I care about. It's like, oh yeah, this thing from my childhood that I then didn't know how it was made. Because there's a lot like Captain Ron. There's a ton of stuff that I grew up with in even this movie that I haven't looked a ton into the background on. Because it's like there's that little bit of like magic of like I don't want to know how the sausage is made.
Oh, 100%. I there's certain movies, and it's usually lighter movies or movies like this where I would never watch, or I wouldn't have watched the scenes. Usually that stuff I say for horror movies and interesting sci-fi or action. Though I own the Blu-ray, it's in the background right now. And I was like, fuck, I never looked if there's any other stuff. Maybe there's a cool commentary. And then there's just a trailer for the movie. That's it. I was like, man, I would have loved a commentary for this.
No. But, I mean, shit, when we're talking about like boutique labels like Shout Factory, damn, dude, I would love a fucking Weekend at Bernie's Shout Factory 4K release with a commentary with Andrew McCarthy and Silverman.
The thing is that they're all outside the director. They're all still alive. Kaiser, I think, is like 80. So it's like, if they
Kaiser's at the end. Yeah.
They got to do it now. They got to do it now.
Yeah. I hope I don't, maybe if we push for it enough, we'll get some traction. Everyone, make sure you're buying your copies of Weekend at Bernie's to support new release. It's
not so unknown though. It's like, Shout Factory would be the perfect label because I think that's more their wheelhouse. But they do things that aren't generally popular. That's kind of their shtick.
Yeah, Shout Select.
Perfect. This is I mean, I have both City Slickers on Shout Select, I believe. So it's like, just give me this. Give me this. It's another one, another feel good, charming little movie from the 90s. It's kind of, it's not beachy. That's more deserty, but same.
Yeah, I would group it in with these films in the way of like that I watched it a ton as a kid. But yeah, it doesn't quite fit the summer soiree.
No,
it would be similar. Tremors would fall in the same category.
Yes. Yeah, desert themed. more Southwest. Fuck, that would have been better. Southwest soiree.
Southwest siesta.
Siesta. Okay. Yes. Southwest. I can't talk today. Southwest siesta. Yes.
Yeah. We got our summer soiree. We can do a Southwest siesta. We got, oh God, we have so many good names for these. Oh, I love it.
I'm down.
All right. Well, there's plenty more to talk about in this one. I just got to scrub through for a second. Oh, I like that. Like the mob boss showing up and fucking Bernie.
Oh, the chick.
Yeah,
she comes down smoking a cigarette. Boop boop boop.
It's like, what? How is this guy in real life? If people don't notice how he is, like if he's dead, that says to me the man was also a dead fish when he was alive.
Sure, and that people are just very self-involved. But obviously, Rick and Mortis came into effect, and she had the ride of her life. I mean, doesn't Larry say like, I get yelled at when I just lay there?
Yeah. Oh God. And I also think that Jonathan Silverman might have the most impressive 5 o'clock shadow known to man.
Especially how clean he looks with it shaved. You know what I'm saying? Like, with that type of five, like that's manly. I don't have that. I would never have that. I
Not a
wish
chance.
that I could be born with that type of hair follicle. But usually to have that sort of, I call it the detective look, you know, that's just like, life is tough. Like you would, there is, I want to say an indicator.
The
Like,
follicles are usually so big that like even when they do a fresh shave, it hardly looks like it doesn't look like a fresh shave.
There's something there where it's like,
Yeah.
Silverman is baby faced until he has that. And I know for a fact, I shouldn't say no for that's actually a damn lie. Why would I say that? I believe in my heart that is a real 5 o'clock shadow because I know that I think, what is it? Dolph Lundgren Punisher, he has a fake one and it's clear as day. So it's like, that is not a fake one. So good for Silverman for having the manly genes because he can pull off young and old.
Yeah, and I feel like I've seen like it's like Hollywood Hulk Hogan that like the
fake,
the fake one. It definitely doesn't look fake, but it stood out a lot on this viewing. So it's like, holy shit, yeah, that's a heavy 5 o'clock shadow.
And obviously if we're going by time logic in the movie, it's the next day.
Yeah.
So he's an everyday shaver, is what that's telling me.
Oh, absolutely. He has to be, which I am not an everyday shaver. My face wouldn't be able to handle it. I got too sensitive a skin. Oh, I want to talk about Don Caffa in this because he is so fun because he's also in Return of the Living Dead. He's the morgue guy and he is so fun as Paulie because you can just feel his frustration as he's like, no, I fucking killed him. That moment that Bernie comes over the side and lands on him.
His arm around him, yeah.
And so he thinks he's choking him. So then he like chokes him back and he's like, he's like, okay, he's finally dead. Like, yeah, I got him. And then it's like he's on the boat and he sees them
walking and tie the shoelaces together. Yeah.
That wide-eyed look on his face where he's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
And then, they play well because he kills him like three times. Yeah. So by the third time, he's actually gone insane. He's like twitching. His eyes are all bulging. He's like,
doesn't he speak Italian at him?
He's like mumbling. Yeah, he's crazy. He leaves the thing and he becomes a priest and like, hey, we're looking for on top of the dune point. And he goes, bless you, my son.
Bless you, my son.
He doesn't answer it because he's like, he doesn't want them to go there. That's always a fun little part.
Yeah, he immediately gets into his priest outfit after he kills Bernie. It's like, oh God, that's quite the stereotypical getaway, and I love it. But then like Richard and Larry showing up and finding the love note, or the suicide note, the like sex change operation.
Well, it could have been you that gets this. Bitching all the money. I know it's funny because it's as an adult, I'm like, you could take a couple stacks of money, get rid of the note, and then go home. Don't take all of it, but take a couple stacks. That's all you got to do. You'd be gold.
Nowadays, I'd be paranoid because I'd be worried about cameras.
In the house, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but
89,
no.
Not worried about that at all. And
that's another reason why this couldn't work because cameras.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if anything, I guess the cameras would also prove of, but then the hitman would have made sure the cameras were disabled. So then I guess Larry and Richard still would have probably been suspicious or like at least targets for suspicion.
Yeah. It doesn't work in a surveillance era. This has to be eyewitness only. That's the only way this movie works. It's because, I saw Bernie walking the other day, you know?
I'm trying to look at the books that Bernie has on his desk. He's got Crimes and Criminals. He's got a Robert Ludlum novel. Oh, is that The Bourne Identity? It might be one of the Bourne
I didn't realize
books.
Those books were that old.
Isn't Robert Ludlum? Isn't he the writer of those?
Oh, dude, I have no idea. I knew their books. I just assumed they were more modern. I didn't realize like there was Bourne books in '89.
Glitz by Elmore Leonard. He's got some interesting group of
Elmer Leonard. He isn't that the guy that wrote Rum Punch?
I assume so. I don't know him. I mean, I know Elmer Leonard. I just don't know the Rum Punch. This is the one that he has is Glitz. But regardless, Bernie seems to have a good taste. But also, I like the Crimes and Criminals because I'm sure that was just for specifically just to have for Bernie. But yeah, I did just have it confirmed. It is Robert Ludlum is the writer of the Bourne series. It started in 1980.
No shit.
Or no, it might have. Oh wait, no, I think 1980. Bourne Identity, 1980. Bourne Ultimatum was 1990. Bourne Supremacy was 86. Bourne Enigma was 2016. Legacy 2004. I don't know why it's all out of order, but
the fact that it was from 80 is wild.
yeah, nuts. It just kind of shows though of like at a certain point they're just like, okay, let's make a movie. What books do we have to make movies out of?
I do. Well, that's one of those. That's a good example of where you could ask me maybe around the time it came out, even 10 years after, even when they were trying to reboot it with Jeremy Renner. I didn't know their books. That's like a relatively new thing. I'm like, fuck, everything is a past IP.
Yeah.
There's Larry says something that I think bleeds into my belief system today. Richard's like, you see, Larry, you see all this? You work hard, you focus, this could be yours. Larry goes, my old man worked hard, and all they gave him was, all they ever gave him was more work. Exactly.
True fucking statement.
Mm-hmm.
You're a hard worker, just means more work.
Yep, you just get more work. You want to work fast? Expect more work.
Lance, I just had my mind blown by one of the IMDb castings.
Are you talking about Skeet Ulrich in the back?
No.
Oh.
I didn't know Skeet Ulrich. I'm talking Catherine Parks, Bernie's girlfriend in it, is Vera from Friday the 13th Part 3, the girl who gets the spear through the eye.
No shit.
That flirts with Shelley. Yep, that is her. I have never once watched Friday the 13th and gone, like Part 3 and gone, oh, it's Tina, Vito's girl.
Dude, you put your hair in a little ponytail, you put in a thick New York accent, and fucking, that's kind of why I get that Clark Kent and Superman can be different people with glasses and a little bit of a hair change. That proves that right there. Because those aren't that far off. Those are like, 4 years maybe?
Yeah, it would have been, I think 83, so 5 years.
Okay.
6 years.
Not enough, man, not enough.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. I definitely never put those together. That's so cool. But see, we got our reference. We got our connection, I should say.
I was gonna say I didn't know this until I looked it up this time, but I guess Skeet Ulrich is drinking or talking to some people right behind Richard and Gwen when they're on Bernie's back porch during the night scene. I had no idea. And then like a bunch of people are circulating like, oh, that is absolutely like a young Skeet Ulrich.
He has a long, I just got super lucky and just found it in one click. He has a long earring in his left ear and then like a mullet almost. It is at 4734 for anyone that is interested in seeing, or will, if you're watching the video version, we'll show it. But yeah, that's nuts. I had no. Yeah. Well, let's see. Had he done anything at that point? That's
one of his first things ever.
His first ever credit. Oh my fucking God. Lance, guess what the other thing is that his next role that is, he's a thug uncredited. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
He's next to Sam Rockwell, isn't he?
Oh my God. I just had like chills.
That's because you're so focused on Sam Rockwell. But like, that's fucking Sam Rockwell. You're not looking left. Yeah.
That's insane. That's so cool. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. I really like Skeet Ulrich, so it's cool that he's in yet another thing that I enjoy. God, he's in some of my favorite movies. Cause are you as good as it gets, guy?
You make me want to be a better man. Yeah, actually. It's a little swarmy as I've gotten older, but I watched it not too long ago, and like Nicholson still kicks ass. It's and I like Red Kinnear. I guess I shouldn't say swarm. What's the word I look for? There is that sort of like, there's a certain sort of optimism, a boomer optimism for like mid 90s movies where it's all shucks, which is just something that I haven't caught when I was a kid. But yeah, dude, I'm always going to support Nicholson. I'll always love Greg Kinnear. And that is the first, because that came before Was that before Scream or after Scream? This was before, right? No, it was
just
after.
after Scream. Just after.
So that was like his big thing afterwards. Okay, yeah. I always support Skid Ulrich, even in that weird ass Robin Train movie. So
yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I always want people to get the bag.
Yeah, we need a better Robin Train movie. I like the concept. I'm trying to see, is Mary Catherine Stewart in a one piece? Yes, she is.
Yeah, she's not in a bikini. No.
That's interesting. Yeah, usually, especially for a movie like this, it's like they'd be like, put her in a small bikini. We need to up our DVD or VHS sales.
Yeah, she seemed like a strong woman. Probably wouldn't even be pushed around. But I'll always defend her. She's great as Gwen. They don't make her kind of weak and feeble. I mean, she's just the girlfriend, but like I think she had enough range in this. I'll always love her, even though she always just looked older. So again, the fact that like, I'm interning, I'm like, what, for the CEO? What are you, 40?
Yeah, there's nothing. This was the movie I knew her from, because I know she's in Night of the Comet and Last Starfighter, but
I like this more than those personally.
See, I never got into Night of the Comet, and I never saw Last Starfighter.
Yeah, it's good. I'm one of the few people that it wasn't my movie growing up either. I saw it. It was around, but it just, there's a specific vibe of it. It's like Starfighter. So I don't know, it wasn't my thing. But I'm glad she those are 3 big hits as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Cults at least. I mean, she does the convention circuit. A lot. Yeah. She was never in the ones in Chicago, so I never got to meet her, or at least not that I knew of. With my luck, she was probably in the first couple that I went to and didn't get to see her. But yeah, I'm glad she's making her money with the other girl, Maloney. I can't think of her name. The other girl in the Comet.
Kelly Maroney.
Yeah, Maroney. Yeah, she does the convention circle, which I support. That, what a great little way to retire.
Yeah,
agreed. Just be cool, hang out, sign stuff, make some money, make some cash.
Yeah. Get praised for something that you did a long time ago. That's great. Like, yeah, I think that I think conventions are super awkward for me personally, because like I'm just not a rich man and don't want to spend money to meet someone. I think that's a part of me too. Is like, well, I get to do this for free. I get to talk to these people for free usually. So why would I pay for that experience? So that's always one thing I've held off with fully going on board with conventions. But I do like that it allows these actors a little bit of a retirement plan.
Yeah, make money. I'm it's funny. I think we talked about this, so I'll keep it short. I am actually with you. When I was younger, in my early 20s, I found them really fun. Get high, have a couple drinks, like talk to people. I'm a chatty guy. But as I've gotten older, like I feel the transactionalness of it becomes more apparent. So now I have the same feeling of conventions as I do strip clubs, where I'm like, I'm glad for the actors and the strippers are making money, but I'm just too aware of like what's going on. So I can't pretend. So I find it just like super like weird. I go like buy some shit, but I would never, at this point, I would never meet anybody ever. If I saw them at a fucking elevator, I might be like, I appreciate you in this, or even that might not even do, but like, that's as far as I go. I don't think I'd walk up because I've had good experiences and I've also had super weird ones. I'm like, I don't think I'm good. I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, all it takes is one of those where it feels like super transactional for you to go, yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
Not want to do this. You were onto something with this whole older woman thing. She is 7 years older than Jonathan Silverman. So
really?
Yeah. So that's 100%. Like, yeah, she's a.
How old was she during filming? Do you know, or during?
Let's
89?
see, 59, 80. It was filmed in 88, so she would have been 29. So.
Oh shit!
So Silverman would have been 22.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yep.
I think it's impressive that they're doing the opposite. Usually, like they
same
look at like some young girl and be like, she's into her career as a businesswoman. And this, it's like, well, let's take a 30-year-old and say, no, she's interning. I guess theoretically she could still be interning, but just the way they present it, they make it seem like she's younger. You know,
I'm pretty sure she's an intern, and then Silverman like works there. So
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So as an intern, she theoretically could still be older, but I just take it as an intern. You'd be younger. So that's maybe why. I mean, they don't say it.
Yeah, I think I think in the story she's younger.
Right? She has to be.
Yeah, just how she's exactly how she speaks. Yeah, how she speaks about her parents, but also her living situation. It seems like it's a summer internship.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, it is a summer internship because she's leaving. They mentioned something in her
that's
leaving.
That's why Silverman needs to make the move because she'll be gone. Yeah.
Yeah. But you clearly caught on to just the older woman fact of her just being an older woman.
Even as a kid. But good for her. She's always been a cutie. And she looks great now. I mean.
But super 80s hair. It's always, I think that's it might be one thing too, because it feels like a 90s movie, but then she has like the 80s hair.
But just her. Everybody else, like Silverman and McCarthy. I mean, Bernie, it's kind of hit or miss. But I mean, like, I feel like, I guess then again, the early 90s are just an extension of the 80s, just slightly polished. Yeah. Everybody else has, at the time, I thought, contemporary haircuts. You know?
It's weird though, because sometimes 89, there's stuff like, because we just, what was it? Dream Child is 89, and that feels so 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't feel 89. That felt like 85.
Yeah. Those transition years for decades that have a distinct feeling. I bet we would probably have the same issue distinguishing between mid 2000, like the 2000s and 2010s. I bet the transition is probably more spotty, with some films feeling like more 2000s and some feeling more 2010s.
I agree. I feel like the way we would tell with those is like editing. Because I think I actually read a good article that was saying how essentially, if you watch The Office now, the only thing that really tips you off to like the age of it is technology, whereas how they dress and look doesn't like they're saying essentially that trends used to be aggressively changing back in the day, and now they don't really. It's a far softer change. So there's not like that hard to find line where it's like, oh, look at that outfit from 88 and look at this outfit from 92. That's completely different, where it's like 2009 and 2014 are probably very similar, you know?
How much do you think that is because obviously the advent of cell phones has almost prevented a lot, or has brought on a lot more of like a pretty standard story that just happens to be set in the 90s now or the 2000s. And it's specifically because they're just trying to get away from cell phones and technology. Or it's like, I wonder how much that then muddies the line. And then even like a Wes Anderson, like Phoenician Scheme does not look like a 2025 movie despite releasing that year. So I wonder if it's just, there's a lot more of a mixture now.
I mean, but that's one of those chicken or the egg where is the movies dictating the style, or is the style not changing, dictating how we're making movies? I mean, you're right though, that they try to set things back in the day to avoid, I mean, which kind of tells you like how technology is like ruined stories. Because the stories that have been told for hundreds of thousands of years, or well, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, but whatever, give me the correct timeline of human evolution, is being fucked up by a cell phone. Half of Seinfeld wouldn't exist with a cell phone, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was because they missed each other at different spots. That's the half of Seinfeld. So.
Yeah, cell phones have definitely, as a writer, it's very difficult to deal with cell phones. I think that's why I wrote a summer camp novel, and you know what I did with the cell phones? Campers, all your cell phones are going into this lockbox, and they're going in the shed. It's like, yeah, because I don't want to deal with cell phones. That's realistic that a summer camp would take your phone away. It's like they can get access, but they have to have monitored access with a counselor. It's like, love it. Like that, just get rid of it completely.
Makes sense.
Let's talk about this finale of because this is yet another thing. There's like this movie really is set up by like 30-minute chunks of like, we have the first part where it's all the setup. We have the more of the fun hijinks. Yeah, the hijinks. And then we have kind of the chase. It's like them
once they find the money, they're like they have to escape, but they have to escape with Bernie because they believe they won't get killed as long as they're with him. You know.
Yep. And things get more serious because obviously they have the boat incident is very fun. Like just allows for a fun set piece. Bernie.
And there's two things I like about the boat thing real quick. Because as somebody who, I didn't grow up around boats, but I was always in Florida every summer. So like I did get to drive them a lot, but they ran out of gas. So they're not looking at the gas gauge and they don't untie the boat. It's just like, it's comedic, it's fun, but just things there that's like, oh yeah, these city boys, these poor city boys, like don't get the rich culture,
Yep.
and that they have to, and let's give them credit, using Bernie as the flotation device, which would make complete sense, filled with gas, filled with gas because he's rotting.
Yeah.
To get back to the Hamptons.
Should probably smell a little more.
Absolutely. I think there's a part where I think he sprays him with something, right? I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think once they get back, they definitely, he puts like cologne or something on him. I like when Richard tries to knock out the contractor and like keeps missing because the contractor just happens to like duck or like down. Go back, and it's just like fun.
Again, physical comedy.
Yeah, and clearly something they found like on set. But like my favorite part of that is then it cuts to the couch and you see Bernie's head come up first, and it's like this. Because like Larry's pulling him up beforehand, and then Larry comes up. It is one of my favorite shots in the movie. It cracks me up so much, and it's why Terry Kaiser's physical comedy in this.
And he has that like bobblehead smug.
Yeah, the smug look on his face, and it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, when Paulie comes in to shoot him, he's sitting there. He has like the aviators, and it's just that look, man. Yeah, it's dude. I mean, Terry Kaiser
smug while dead.
It's like small things like that. It's like, it's perfect because it's not it's not unreasonable, I guess, because theoretically it could shape it. I mean, maybe it is. I've never messed with a dead body, but it's believable enough in the movie. I wouldn't be like, why is he smile like that? It's just they're messing around. The body keeps like touching different shit. It's like, maybe it did push up his face a little,
Yeah, it's dumb, but it's enough of a believable thing that it works. It's not a moment where I'm like, no, you don't. Obviously, this whole movie is unrealistic. That's not what we're watching for. Same, like many. There's also not large turtles that are teenagers that can that are ninjas then fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like every movie has this shit. Like I don't care. I want suspension of disbelief.
Meet the movie on its own terms, and this respects the rules it sets up. Yeah. That's fine. And it's a comedy, so it's like hijinks happens, but I feel like there's never a situation they have to get out of that's a bit beyond the pale. Or, I don't know if that's the right word I'm trying to think. But yeah, I'm saying where there's not anything where they have to get out of a situation where it kind of bends reality. It's like, okay, the boat runs out of gas. They have a dead body that's a flotation device, stuff like that. When they have to walk to the ferry, it's just the arms around each shoulder and the shoelaces are tied together. It's like, okay, it's practical. It does make sense, even if maybe like the science of it isn't really there. Like the ideas they're putting forth is enough for me to be like, okay, cool, I'm done. Yep.
Everything progresses in such a logical way, despite having such a, something that you really have to suspend that disbelief with the dead body. Because there's going to be stuff where you're like, oh, why doesn't it smell? Why isn't somebody catching on to this? Because that's the whole point of the movie. That's why. Move past it.
This wouldn't work in New York City or somewhere. Like it has to be in this place where everybody is rich, spoiled, and selfish. That's why you can't remake it. It's the age of decadence. This is rich, terrible people just fucking having a good time and not really giving a shit. Everybody was talking to Bernie. He didn't talk back, and that was good enough for them. Well, yeah. What about 2-5 for the boat? And his head falls back, and he's like, it's like stuff like that. It's like, nobody really cares.
How good is the stunt work from because it's the stunt guy does the roll into frame behind Larry and Gwen and Richard, they're like out there, does the stunt roll into frame, and then some girl is like, "Hi, Bernie." They like have that look, and that like it's just peak
Is
physical
it a
comedy.
Texas switch? I forget.
No, because they do a cutaway. They don't even have to do a Texas switch.
Oh, okay.
They just cut.
And he's
Which
behind
then-
him, and he has this smug look, right?
Yeah, that smug look. But I love that because that look of where they're like, "Bernie, what?" And it's like it's similar to what Don Caffo, where it's just like, what the fuck? Like how is this still happening?
Different
So good.
music. It's a horror movie.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We've seen like the Groundhog Day happen, like the horror version of Groundhog Day. Let's see the horror version of Weekend at Bernie's.
Easy. Ends on the beach. I love
The kid that come like burying him in sand.
It's funny because when I was little, I always was confused because he looks so similar to the kid from Problem Child. Like it's close, you know. I
mean,
hate the kid
not
as a kid. I hate him
redhead,
as an
but-
adult. But it's just like he's like little freaking. I don't know.
I get
Terrible
it.
kid. Hate the kid. But credits roll, and it makes me want to go to the beach.
Doesn't he gets permission to bury him though? So yeah,
But he was a piece of shit the first time, though.
I agree. I'm just saying he gets
I don't
consent.
forgive him. Yeah, I don't forgive him for the first time, though. I don't care if he gets consent ever. He was mean to he gives Larry the finger, dude. Fuck that kid.
That is true. He does give Larry the finger. So fuck him. Well, we've pretty much done it with Weekend at Bernie's. What would you? I mean, do I even have to ask what you would
4.
rate this?
4. Come on.
4 stars. Someone needs to release this boutique label. Like, please. I'm not even asking 4K. I don't even need 4K. Just give me commentary. I want commentary. Nice little documentary, just something.
And there's enough. It's been long enough. I think it's cult enough. I do think there's an audience for this. Maybe there wasn't in 2002, but there is now.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, we've officially done it. Thank you guys so much for listening to our second entry in our Summer Soiree 2025. Next week is the big one, Waterworld. I don't think we've fully figured out how we're doing this. Are we watching both cuts? How are we doing this? Because you need to see the Ulysses cut.
Yeah, I would say I'd like to talk. Shit. I don't know. You pick. I'm cool with whatever. I grew up with the original, but yeah, I own the Ulysses cut for this reason.
I think we do a comparison. I think we do. I think we watch both, and which might be a lot, or at least watch Ulysses cut, so then we can talk about both of them overall.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much all. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next week for Waterworld. Goodbye.